we got to realize what's going on here. This is not for you. When you light your city on fire and you burn cop cars, it's never good. It's not good for you. It's not good for the cause. They're not going to change the laws. We all realize that we're being played against each other. You know, when you're paying people to protest, you're leaving pallets of bricks around, and you're organizing the whole thing, and you're shipping people in on buses, and you're making sure that all the people show up at a certain amount of time, and they're all compensated, and you give them water and snacks. Like, this is my feeling. Like, if you got here and you've integrated into our society, yeah, maybe you shouldn't have snuck in, but you did it, and you're not breaking any laws, you're a hardworking person. Those people need a path to citizenship, man. Because if you don't, then they're just preyed upon by people that will take advantage of the fact that they're undocumented and not pay them what they're legally supposed to pay them, and not give them benefits if they're legally supposed to have benefits, and they can't say anything because they're worried that immigration's going to get called on them. So these people are in this constant state of anxiety, and then they hear about the ICE raids, like at Home Depot. Like, what the
how many different types of white and black are there that all just get merged? It creates this maybe like group identity that's a lot easier to control. Like,
for sure. Well, and then it shifts over time. Like, my family wasn't white. My family was Italian. They were disparaged when they first came to America from Europe. My grandfather used to tell me terrible stories of what happened to him when he was a boy living in America as an Italian. They treated them the same way terribly racist people were treating people from Guatemala that sneak in here. It's the same kind of thing. Then after a while, they sort of integrated, and now I'm white.
Yeah, now you're just a white person.
Now I'm just a regular white.
It's a lot easier to accuse you and 30 other different nationalities of people who were all very culturally different and unique, and just call all of you white people, and then pick the worst thing that one of those nationalities did and just cast it among the whole group. But it happens with every ethnicity, every identity. The goal is to like put everyone in the world in one of 3 or 4 buckets, and then hopefully figure out how to just put all of them into one bucket eventually. It's like it's so much easier to control 2 or 3 different types of people than it is 30 or 40 or 100 or 1,000.
Right.
You know,
which is also, I think, why they never fix the problems that ail our inner cities. They want to keep that conflict. I really believe that. Because if somebody wanted to have a better, stronger economy, the first thing you would do is you want more people in the workforce. So you'd want less people that are disenfranchised, completely out of society, felons, all that stuff. That doesn't do anything but cost the country money, right? Unless you have private prisons. Now, in private prisons, those people become a business, and then that business contributes to the escalation of laws. And they want to make sure that laws stay in place, because that way their business is always full. They have plenty of customers. Their customers are human beings that they turn into batteries to generate money. That's what it is. It's like those people, every person they have in there, they get more money, which is wild. It's wild that we allow that.
America is in a strange place right now. On one hand, there's talk of law, order, and national security. On the other, there's fear, confusion, and an undeniable sense that something about the way power is being used just feels wrong.
The Trump administration is reversing course after initially suggesting a pause on ICE raids at farms, hotels, and restaurants.
They're not citizens, but they've turned out to be, great. And we're going to have to do something about that. You're supposed to throw them out, and you know what happens? They end up hiring the people, the criminals that have come in, the murderers from prisons and everything else. So we're going to have an order on that pretty soon, I think. We can't do that to our farmers, and leisure too, hotels. I want them to focus on the cities, because the cities are where you really have what's called sanctuary cities, and that's where the people are. Biden allowed 21 million people to come into our country. Of that, vast numbers of those people were murderers, killers, people from gangs, people from jails. They emptied their jails out into the U.S. Most of those people are in the cities, all blue cities.
The recent ICE raids are a perfect example. What started as targeted enforcement has evolved into a show of force that looks more like intimidation than justice. Agents in tactical gear, accompanied by National Guard troops, are sweeping through neighborhoods, construction sites, even standing outside places like Home Depot. Arrests are up. Over 1,300 people are being detained per day. And this isn't a crackdown on violent criminals. Most of those arrested have no criminal record at all. But numbers only tell part of the story. The human impact is where it really hits. Imagine watching your neighbor, someone you've lived next to for years, taken away while loading groceries, or a kid being pulled out of a car in front of his high school. This isn't just enforcement, it's disruption, it's psychological warfare. For many immigrant families, the fear doesn't come from what they've done, it comes from what might happen at any moment. People are skipping work, avoiding hospitals, missing school functions, afraid that one wrong step could get them torn away from their lives. And that fear doesn't stay contained, it spreads. It affects neighborhoods, schools, local economies.
When we look at agriculture, we know that 15.1% of the workers on the construction industry, we know that 14.1% of workers are undocumented.
Communities built on trust and routine are being fractured by surveillance vans and unannounced arrests.
I know one landscaper that lost 9 or 10 of the whole crew he had, and he's just totally out of business all of a sudden.
People aren't protesting because they want chaos. They're protesting because over 1,300 people are being detained per day in ICE raids, most with no criminal record. They're protesting because neighbors and classmates are being pulled from cars, homes, and job sites for minor infractions or none at all. Enforcement is being used like a hammer when what's needed is understanding. Since June, protests have erupted in over 2,000 cities under the banner of No King's Day, involving more than 5 million people. These demonstrations aren't riots. They're a reaction to fear, targeting, and selective justice. While immigrants face military-grade raids, the powerful face no consequence. CEOs get tax breaks. Workers get surveillance vans. It's not just a broken system. It's one operating exactly as it was designed. Poor and undocumented communities are over-policed. Billionaires and corporations go untouched. Graffiti earns jail time. Financial crimes earn golden parachutes. This isn't about border security anymore. It's about a system using fear to control the vulnerable while protecting the privileged. And people are standing up, not to create chaos, but to say, this can't be normal. And yet, through all this, people are still trying to survive. Communities are organizing, sharing resources, setting up legal hotlines, and tracking ICE movements in real time. In cities like Los Angeles and Chicago, volunteers physically station themselves near known raid sites to warn families. That isn't anarchy, that's resistance. That's what community looks like when the system fails. This isn't just about immigration, it's about what kind of country we want to be. One where fear and force define safety, or one where justice holds everyone to the same standard. Because when children live in fear of seeing their parents taken, when people skip work or the doctor because they're afraid they'll be followed home, we haven't made America safer. We've made it colder, meaner, more divided. And that division, it serves someone. It keeps us fighting at the bottom while those at the top get richer, quieter, safer. So the next time someone says it's just law and order, ask, whose laws and whose order? Because right now, the people who harvest the food, build the homes, stock the stores, they're the ones being punished the most, and they deserve better.